I did a story in February about the Palestinian Museum, how they gathered the artworks from Palestinian collectors and Arab collectors and even international ones, from painters from the Gaza Strip. And people were putting their works up, and the idea was to gather all of the paintings of the artists from Gaza in one place as one form of solidarity and one way that Palestinians can come together despite the geographical separation between the occupied West Bank and the besieged Gaza Strip. And one of those paintings was for Khaled Jarada, whom I had the privilege to meet just here in Lisbon, and whose paintings are all over the whole here. So when you have the time, you can find some of his beautiful work. He has sadly, like many people at the Palestinian Museum collections, lost his paintings in the war. Actually, some of the paintings inside the Palestinian Museum are the last remaining pieces, not only of the artwork of some of the artists, but of the artists themselves, because some of them were killed in the war. And as a way to retrieve that, the part that you see over here by Khaled is one attempt from him to retrieve part of the work that he had lost. So these are pictures of the artwork that was lost as a result of the bombardment in Gaza. I wanted to, give him the chance to speak a little bit. Artists usually like to present their artworks and not speak about them. But if someone was to look at all of your work that is presented here, I don't want to say what do you want them to get, but what would bother you if they do not receive from these artworks?
Okay. I want first thank you for the question and for the introduction. What it could bother me if they don't take it. I think it's bother me if they take it very seriously. Because most of my work it's like self-portraits and daily drawings, so it's more like emotionally things, or I speak about like feelings or impressions or just like a feelings more than like concept or idea. So it's better me if it's take it very seriously.
And some of the artworks over there on the top, they are combined by some poetry by another Gazan artist, and they talk about your dreams to leave the Gaza Strip in 2021, or at least to see what life is beyond the siege. Can we say that?
Yes, it's about this, and because this was a collaboration with writer Hanil Bayari, he's Gazan writer and children book writer also, and this was during COVID, and also was the time when I was waiting to travel, and I couldn't travel in this time, not because the siege of Gaza, but also because the world were like all closed. But
because of COVID.
Because of COVID, and in Gaza we hadn't like lockdown. We were like living normally. So
you were the only free place for a bit.
Yeah, because no one entered Gaza, so to bring us like COVID, so we were living normally. So in this time, like the idea or the image of borders and this meaning like appears more. So me and Hani, we start to exchange and to talk about like the concept of borders and what we feel, and like that I'm waiting like to travel. So what I'm waiting like how I will break this border. Like I never went out in this time from Gaza until like 25, my age. So I was like.
It was your first time out of Gaza when you were 25 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was about like this, my questions about the borders.
Mm. And then that takes us to the in-between part, where you left Gaza, you're in Europe, and you're in this phase of in-betweenness? Because the artwork to the right was made in 2022, right? When you were in
Yes.
France?
Yeah. And here, because like before, all of my artwork in Gaza were always like with like background and environment. And in this like series, I was like thinking about the void. So it was like mostly the figure with the movement of the body and you know, like more the expressions of the body language with the void, like with nothing, without background. So like sometimes with no gravity, sometimes with no weight. So I was like playing with these two elements in the figures.
And Khaled, as someone who is very highly active in producing a lot of work, and to lose all of that, you have not been able to paint since October the 7th. I'm not going to ask you why, but when do you expect to paint?
No, you can, but I think after like the genocide and after also being like outside of Gaza, like it's become like more responsibility. So the question of art for me, it's become different, and now I think I have to take it seriously, not as before. So I start to. I don't want like to do maybe like just feedback of angry and madness about everything. So I want to take it to more questions about all of this, and maybe because I still don't understand what's happening until now. So maybe that's why.
Thank you. I know Khaled doesn't like to speak in public, but he did a great job, right?
It's thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's my first time to speak like in public, so thank you so much. Thank you.
It was an honor to meet you, and he is leaving to Madrid later this evening, so you can also say your goodbye right now.
So goodbye. Thanks you. It was very great.